We are closing in on home stretch. What a very fascinating day. I hope all of you learned a lot, have been inspired a bit. It was a great honor for us to have the President's National Security Advisor here for a major address, along with Ambassador Alice Clement and some other fantastic panelists through the day. I just want to close out today's event by saying a few quick words of thanks to those who helped make all of this possible. And to make a couple of quick reflections on what we heard from Jake Sullivan and Alex Clement. And so, first of all the panelists today I thought were particularly exceptional. We covered a lot of issues that are very difficult. And so let's give everybody who was here today, many of whom are still here on the panels, a round of applause, please. And as many of you know, a meeting like this takes weeks and months of preparation, careful planning, and labor from our small but professional and hardworking, dedicated team. I want to give particular shout out to our COO, Kathy Randall Robinson, and our Director of Communications and Operations, Tony Fleming, and to our board chair, Tom Countryman, who's taking a nap in the corner. All did a fantastic job. We could not have done this without them or the rest of the Arms Control Association team you've seen throughout the course of the day. I also want to thank our friends from Center for Arms Control and Nonproliferation and Rethink Media who helped us out today. This was a bigger event than we usually have, so we had to call in for some outside help, so we thank them. And I also want to thank everybody online for tuning in, and a special thanks to our videographer, Brendan Kawanowski. He's for hire if you need him. He's very good. So thanks also, and most of all, to all of our sponsors for today's event, and all of you who have registered. Your financial support, your interest, your engagement is essential to our ability to pull this off. And just a couple reminders about some of the important words we heard from Jake Sullivan and on behalf of President Biden, as I interpret them today, and from Alex Clement about how the non-nuclear weapons world sees the nuclear problem and the path ahead. And there are a lot of details, but beyond the details of Mr. Sullivan's speech, I think it's fair to say that President Biden clearly agrees with many of us here that more nuclear weapons make us less secure, that the United States will and should exercise prudent nuclear restraint. It will pursue nuclear disarmament diplomacy, believes it is time to engage with other major nuclear armed states to achieve their collective nuclear disarmament responsibilities, and in the meantime to reduce risks on all sorts of issues, including AI's intersection with nuclear weapons. So I hope you'll help us encourage the administration and those in Congress to move that agenda forward and hold them accountable to those objectives. And I think it's also important, we heard from Ambassador Clement about the view from the world outside of the Washington bubble, the Western world that depends, it thinks, on nuclear weapons for our defense, that nuclear deterrence is inherently risky, that it's unsustainable, that much of the rest of the world sees nuclear weapons as illegal, immoral instruments of power and coercion that must be abolished as soon as possible, and that we're living on borrowed time. So we're all going to have to work together to deal with these enormous challenges ahead at this ridiculously difficult time. And ACA and indeed the rest of the arms control and nonproliferation disarmament community, which is smaller than you might imagine, it really is going to have to pull together and move ahead and bring others into this effort so that we can move faster towards our common goal of a world without nuclear weapons. So it's going to take persistence, passion, some considered risks, some luck, a more engaged, informed public, new ideas and voices, and I learned a lot of new things just in this last session, and it's going to take all of us working together. So thanks for joining us today, and in working the challenges that lie ahead. We are adjourned.